whatever we learned here, right? It's not just left as such, but I'll be showing you how this is being implemented into automation. Okay. So we'll understand what is a method and constructor. That's why I club these methods and constructors together. Okay. So let me create a new class. Please take hands off your machine team. I'm just seeing one question. Let me try to address. It's a question. Okay. So I'm just going to give a third example. Okay, just created one class over here. So first we need to understand what is method, right? So from the term method, what we mean, method basically doing something. Okay. So what is the use of method? We write a method to do something. If I want to print something, say hi, hello world, I write a method. I cannot just give it as such. Okay. So in Java, what is the main thing which we do? We basically have a main method, right? So public static void main of string args. Okay, this is a syntax. Okay, where we give array of objects. I'll talk about array, don't worry. This is the main method syntax, and we basically call all the methods which we write over here into our main method, so that it will execute for us. Okay, so what is the syntax for writing a method? You have seen that, right? So we can write a method with the help of my specifier public. Okay, and I need to give something called as return statement. Okay, in a method there are two things. So let me open a notepad. So first, what is a method? Method is basically used to perform some action. So what we do as part of method definition, we basically write a set of code inside that. Okay, that is a declaration, or that is some definition which we give inside that method, and we basically do some actions inside the method. Okay, so from some action. So there are two ways a method can be defined. One, void, which does not return anything. Return anything in the sense it will not do anything. Whatever you define it. Okay, say I want to just print this one and declare this one, that is done. Okay, and there is one more method, method with return. This is very important thing. Okay, return time in the sense some value. It will do some computations and return some value. Okay, so say for example, if I want to do some addition, right? So addition of two numbers means I need to return some integer value as an output, right? So if I am adding 5 plus 5 is equal to 10, I need to return some integer value. So I need to define the method with the help of the data type. Like I can give it like integer, float, double, anything I can give it as part of my method definition. Okay, so we will see how this method is basically defined and how this definitions are basically done. So I'm just going to give you one normal method. Okay, normal void method which will not return anything. So now if you see here public, okay, void print off. I'll give so void method printing hi. Okay, this is normal method. Okay, it's not going to do any computations, it's not going to return anything. So what basically return type, okay, or return something based upon our definition. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just give public. Okay, here I will not be using the term called as void. Why? I need to return something as part of my action, right? So I cannot just use so and just do as such, right? So I need to return something over here. So what I'll do here is I'll just give a data type over public int. Sorry. So public integer. This is my data type over here, and I can just give my method name. Okay, add off. Now you see, once I define a method like this, there is an error my Eclipse is throwing here. Okay, so if I just go and hover here, it is telling this method must return a result of type integer. Why? Because I have given the over here and I have given the method name. Any method name I can give. I can just give one, or I can just give add Jennifer. Any method name I can give it over here. But whatever I give it, I have to return some data type post method is completed. So it is telling me add a return statement, or what we can do, change the return type to void. Two ways I can do it. Definition types of method. One, we need to define it, but we can do it with void. It just executes, it just defines whatever you do. Second is, once a method is defined or once a method is basically executed, if I want to return something, I can use this statement. Okay, so now see carefully what I'm here is, I'll just give add two numbers. Okay. So now I need to basically return something over here, right? So I'll just add a return statement. See, I can just come here. So I can use keyword called as return, and I can return some integer. Okay. So say for example, I'm just giving integer equal to equal to 20. Integer c is equal to a plus b. So now I can just give here, because this return c is an integer, I can return this value. Once this method is being executed, I'll be able to return the computation. Whatever I have done inside this method definition, I'll be able to return that value as part of my method. Okay, so this method with return type and method normal method will basically do things. There are two types of method definition. One is void method where it will not do anything. Second one is method with return. If I want to or if I want to do some calculations or something like that, I'll be able to call it. Okay. Now see carefully. I just gave the calculation over here, right? But I didn't show you how this basically works. Okay. So real time implementation, how I can do here is, I'll just remove all these things. Okay. I will basically give something called as, I'll just give some arguments for my method. Okay, there's something called as arguments. I'll talk about it sometime. So what is an argument is, a method can be passed with different set of things. Okay, integer b. I'm passing two arguments over here. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is, I'll just say integer c is equal to a plus b. Okay, now I'm returning c over here. See carefully, team. So inside this, I'm just doing a computation of two numbers which have been passed arguments. Okay, so in the main method, how this method is what I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so in the main method, what I'm doing here is, I'm going to basically pass two arguments. Okay, so how will I pass my arguments? I can directly give to the method, or I can simply call that method, and I can basically, any ways I can call it. Okay, or any ways I can basically do it. So since this is the method which has been inside this class, so how will I do? I can just give method example is equal to m1, class name object name is equal to new class name of method example of, this is how we create an object, right? First, how will I call a method? If I want to call the print method, object name dot, if I just give print, I'll be able to print method. This is taken care. Now if I want to call this method, how will I do? I'll just give m1 dot. Okay, see, add two numbers method is also coming for me. I will just give this add two numbers, but in this method, if I want to this one, I need to pass some arguments, right? So here it is expect two numbers for me. I cannot just give add two numbers off and leave it as such. It will be throwing some error. Why? Because in method, I am basically calling some arguments over here, and that is what is expecting. So what it is telling as part of my error, it is telling add arguments to match integer type. Okay, now if you see here, add arguments to match integer type, or these two arguments over here. Okay, anyways we can do, but to match this method, or to call this method, I need to give two numbers here, right? So I'll just give 5, 5. Both are integer numbers, and uh, I have basically given that over there. Okay, so till now it is clear, right? So what it is, and I'm returning that number to this method. Okay, so I'm just basically giving this c is equal to a plus b also, and what I'll do is I'll just give so c also over here. Okay, so now if I run this program, let's see what's happening. See, void method, this first method definition is also called over here, and my second method 10 is being printed. Okay, in this method I haven't passed anything, I'm just doing the computation, but this method is returning some value for me. What it is basically returning, it is basically adding two numbers. So that computation what I have done over here, I'm passing the values outside the method definition over here. Okay, so this is what the difference between your normal method and method with return type thing. Okay, it can be of any type. Okay, if I just give double over here, right, it will be working fine for me. Okay, but if I just give float, let's try this one. I cannot have a method with string type because string is set of characters. It will be returning a integer time for me. That's why it is telling change the method return type to integer over here. So once I change it to return integer, it basically works. Okay, so this is one type of definition. Now if I don't want to an object, okay, so I just copy this one. See carefully, team. I'll just include one keyword called as static over here. Okay, and I'll just add a different method because I cannot use same methods inside the class, right? Now I can basically what between the two things over here. Since I have used the word term static, I don't need to use object definition, right? So what I can do, I can basically directly call my method over. So there is one a shortcut in Eclipse team. Okay, if I just give add and if I give control space, okay, what is this control space will do is it shows what are the default templates or proposals which are there as part of the program. Okay, now if you see, it is just showing me the default one, add two numbers, only that it is showing. It is not showing add to add to number, this not shown. Why? Because I am not using the object name, I'm just giving add to number of. Okay, I can just give two numbers over here and I can just leave it. See, there is no need of creating an object or anything that I just call this method directly over here. Why? Because it is a static method and there is no need of object, and there is no need of defining my name also because it is already inside my same class's method. Main method is also in the same class. No need to give the object definition. We can give it as it. Even if I just give it like this, it will throw an warning message. What warning message will throw? See, it is basically a static method. There's no need of defining an object. Okay, it will accept it, but just that it will warn you by telling you need to create or use the object to call this method. You can right away use this method into your program. Okay, so this is method return type, and this is your static method. So three things which we have done, right team? Normal method, method with return type, and we also what is the static method also. Okay, so even static I can just give something like this, public static one now. It's not mandatory like I need to basically what I can say. Sorry, it should be having void, right? I'll just give so printing static method. So even static methods can be given without a return type. Void method with return type can also be given in static. Okay, four types it has seen: normal method, method with return type, normal, static method with just doing the printing action we have seen. Okay, if we understand this clearly, we can write any Java programming. Okay, understand the syntax, how a method works, and what is its return type. Okay, what is how we give the method name, what is its arguments. We are all good. I would say 55 percentage we are on to a very good track in writing Java application. Okay, I will just pause here. I will give this complete code